Spoiler alert! Seriously, if you have so far managed to avoid this huge spoiler about The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and really, Spider-Man in general, then you are a movie-going Houdini, and I applaud you. Don't let me be the one to bring you down. Click away now, and I hope you'll come back once you've seen Spidey's sequel. Okay, so finally, we're getting a big screen adaptation of The Death of Gwen Stacy, one of the greatest and most influential comic book stories of all time. And part of what made the original story so legendary is that she stayed dead to this day. And if Hollywood can, in an age of sequels and reboots, manage to do the same, that can only mean one thing: rebound chick. Now, of course, in the comics, Peter Parker famously found solace with his friend with benefits, Mary Jane Watson. In fact, MJ was friends with both Peter and Gwen, so Gwen's death hit her hard as well. Their shared grief helped bring them closer together, and was actually part of the bedrock of their eventual marriage. He married his rebound girl? That's right, Peter Parker ain't no player. This is something Marvel discovered with Brand New Day, the storyline which followed up the company's controversial decision to split up Peter and MJ. Why? Well, the powers that be felt a single Spider-Man would energize the personal side of Peter Parker, which they felt was in a bit of a rut. Interestingly, marriage is also a big issue over at DC these days, where the potential marriage of Batwoman was recently nixed, and of course the reveal that in the New 52, Superman and Lois Lane are not only no longer married, but not even dating. And speaking of Superman, he seems to be in the same boat as Spider-Man. Sure, you can change their marital status, but their personalities? In fact, it just seems plain wrong to turn Clark Kent or Peter Parker into Lotharios. So the result is Peter Parker goes from one serious relationship right into another serious relationship. With Brand New Day, he ended up with Carlie Cooper, a fellow science nerd and a member of the NYPD's CSI unit, who also knew Gwen Stacy. Cooper was a valiant effort by Marvel to take Peter Parker's personal life in a different direction, but the romance never sizzled. I guess that's what happens when you basically date the female, non-superpowered version of yourself. Plus, it didn't help that MJ wanted to stay friends and was a constant third wheel. So it's highly unlikely the Spidey Cinematic Universe will go the Carlie Cooper route as well. Should they go with MJ? Been there, done that. Not just with Sam Raimi's trilogy, but even here, as Shailene Woodley shot several scenes as the new Mary Jane Watson for this sequel. But director Mark Webb ultimately decided that having MJ in the film was a distraction from the crucial Peter-Gwen dynamic leading up to Gwen's death. Well, as I just noted a moment ago, MJ being a part of that dynamic was kind of crucial to her and Peter's own storyline, but I digress. Behind-the-scenes confusion aside, bottom line, moviegoers have already spent 3 movies with MJ and didn't love the results. What's more, those movies weren't that long ago, and this new Spider-Man series really needs to swing into fresh territory instead of continuing to rehash old storylines again and again and again. Maybe Peter Parker should date a fellow superhero. True, he's never had much interest in dating at the office in the comics, with the exception of Black Cat. Taking a page from Batman's Little Black Book, Peter Parker dated this cat burglar with Robin Hood tendencies briefly after the death of Gwen Stacy, but in the end he was just too much of a good guy to date a bad girl. Plus she kept faking her own death all the time. However, Felicia Hardy already appears in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, played by Felicity Jones, as Harry Osborn's girlfriend. So unless they're going to go the Twilight Triangle route, Spidey will have to look for love elsewhere. Maybe the Daily Bugle? There has been a lot of buzz lately about J. Jonah Jameson showing up in the next Spider-Man film, headlines generated by Mark Webb himself. And of course, the Daily Bugle is home to another of Peter Parker's love interests, Betty Brant. Elizabeth Banks did briefly play Brant in the Raimi trilogy, but otherwise, this secretary-turned-journalist is a pretty fresh face for moviegoers. Or there is one option that would maintain the legitimacy of Gwen Stacy's death, yet allow this franchise to keep Emma Stone. And that's going the ultimate route. In that comic book universe, Gwen Stacy, who is just friends with Peter Parker, is killed by Carnage, a shape-shifting organism which then assumes her identity. I won't tell you how the story ends, but it would certainly give Stone something to sink her teeth into. Plus, doesn't she work at Oscorp, and aren't they always looking for new opportunities to experiment? What do you think? Should Gwen Stacy stay dead, or does this Carnage route interest you? Or should MJ join this new Spidey Cinematic Universe? Or maybe Betty Brant? And hey, maybe the movies would be able to make Carlie Cooper work, whereas the comics couldn't. Or are you rooting for a Harry, Peter, and Felicia love triangle? Or maybe, just maybe, someone entirely new? Write your thoughts down below. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.